What's up, turds? It's John Creo with Team Dudescent here, bringing to you another video. This time around, it's going to be a deck profile video on the deck that I used to pilot in today's Ultimate Cup, and that would be Paildramon box or Golden Bucket, whatever you want to call it. It was a super fun day. Ended up going X3, so 6-3 in the 9-round tournament, only losing to Purple Hybrid, Take, and Lucemon of all decks. Lucemon inherently kind of counters like Imperial type decks, right? So that was a tough matchup. But overall, really happy with how the deck ran. I was constantly changing up the list all the way to the final moment. There's just so many good cards that you can run in the top end. So pretty much, if you guys don't know what Paildramon box is, it's essentially like the Imperial bottom end with like Paildramon, Wormmon, Davis Ken. And then the top end, it's kind of just like whatever you want. I was switching between like Gallon-X, Hexablow, and then like Dino and Gallon and all that stuff. So a lot of options when it comes to the deck and how you want to play it. I ended up settling on this list, and I'm incredibly happy with how it ran. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and get to the video. All right, so starting off with our eggs, we have 4 eggs only, and that's going to be the plus 1k DP Demivimon BT16. Well, this Digimon has 2 or more colors. It gets plus 1000 DP. So this is, for the longest time, I was actually only running the draw engine egg, the one where it's when attacking, if you have green Digimon, draw a card. But this egg is actually non-negotiable. I'm not gonna lie to you, for one specific reason. But with and that's really just Purple Hybrid. Purple Hybrid's the reason. Being able to give yourself the proper amount of defense against Purple Hybrid and having that DP surpassing a certain DP threshold, it's very important, and I'm going to explain to you why later in the deck profile. So please stay tuned for that. Again, non-negotiable. It has to be the plus the DP egg. Next up for our rookies, we have 4 of the Searcher Vmon. So Searcher Vmon, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Paildramon in its name, or the free trait, and 1 card with Davis. So it's a potentially add 2 cards, and then end of turn you have the this Digimon and one of your other Digimon may DNA Digivolve. So really good there. Not much to say about that. It's just a consistency card. For our next rookies, we have 4 of the Wormmon. It's the same exact card basically, except it adds a Ken instead, and of course it's a Wormmon, so it's a green Digimon. So 4 and 4, pretty normal there. Next up, we have 3 of the promo Vmon. This is the one where if Digimon with free trait would Digivolve into it, and you have a Tamer, reduce the cost by 1. And then when attacking, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw 1. I am opting to play 3 of these guys. I'd like to run a 4th, but I had to make some space. These help counteract the fact that you're not really running draw eggs anymore. So instead of drawing 2, you're only drawing 1, but you still need the draws, extra draws. So it's not once per turn. So when you swing with Paildramon and unsuspend, you can draw again. So you can potentially draw 2, depending on the state of the board, like if you're able to unsuspend. Next up, we have 1 of the promo Wormmon. Promo Wormmon, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 green or blue card with 2 or more colors, and 1 Tamer card with Ken in its name among them, and return the rest to the bottom of the deck. And then end of turn, you can DNA. So the difference between these 2 is that this one can actually pick up your level 6s that aren't free trait. So this essentially picks up all of your armors, all of your level 5s, and all of your 6s. So that's really, really nice. That's why I added this in. I felt like I needed, like, at least I wanted to give it a try. I wasn't really sure if I would like it or not. This could easily be like a 4th promo promo Vmon, but honestly, I actually really liked being able to search my level 6s. For the last rookie, we have one of this Wormmon the BT16 Wormmon. Start of your main, if it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 from the trash, reduced by 1, and it's also the on play as well. So being able to use your trash as a resource is very valuable, especially when it's later in the game. And then the inheritable, when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That doesn't really come up too much, but when it does, it's kind of nice. That's it for the level 3s. Now for the level 4s, of course, you have to run the XV. Your turn, when this Digimon would DNA Digivolve into a green Digimon, gain a memory, and then it gives jamming into. But the important thing is it needs to have Imperial name or free trade, okay? So that's important to note. 4 of those guys. Next up, we have 2 of the Sting. Again, that's the counterpart. So Stingmon, same thing. When they Digivolve into a blue Digimon card, DNA gain a memory, and it gives piercing. I would like to run more, but you need to have armors in the deck. So 2 is the only amount that I could fit. I might honestly even cut this down to 1 for an extra armor. I'm not sure yet. It's just nice to be able to gain memory. To be able to gain memory off of your DNA Digivolves, because sometimes you would actually prefer to just do this and gain the memory. So I feel like 2 is a perfect number. I wouldn't go more than that. Maybe I would even go down to 1. Next up for our armor lineup, so we have 2 of the Paildramons, right? So Paildramon Digivolves into a Vmon for 2, otherwise it Digivolves into a green for 3. Armor Purge, suspend one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon. Really good for swinging over rookies. Great combo is Digivolving into the Vmon for 1 and then swing over like a Floodgate or something, like a pesky Gazimon or something like that. I really like doing that. Next up, we have 2 Togemogu. Togemogu, blocker Armor Purge. I really like this card too. When an opponent, and it has an all turns effect, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, trash the top Digivolution card of one of their Digimon, then one of their Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack or block until the end of their turn. Really good against decks like Magna, where let's say they swing and they don't have the protection. You get to actually trash their Magna, and it prevents them from having the immunity. So that's really nice. Against like Purple Hybrid, it's nice because it will trash Duskmon, right? So they'll go into Velgar and then it'll trash Duskmon when they swing, if they haven't swung already. But it's a nice stall out too. It really is, because being able to free something and prevent it from attacking, like Korikaku, it's really, really nice to be able to stall that turn. Plus it's a blocker in itself, so it can add that extra defense. For the last level 4s, we have 2 of the Magna. This is going to be the starter 17 Magna. It has a security effect. Digivolve 1 at the end of battle. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card without paying the Digivolution cost. So that's really cracked. Digivolve from security is always nice. It's a random sec bomb. And then blocker Armor Purge. Trash the top. When Digivolving, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon for each of their colors. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to your hand. Again, it's really good for the early game. When you bring out the Vmon, they have like a rookie or something. You just go into Magna and bounce it. And then you have a blocker Armor Purge. That's it for the level 4s. So we run 6 of the old stuff, and then we run 6 of the armors. Feels good enough. Like I said, probably Sting for maybe like a Togemogu or a Lydra if anything. For the level 5s, we have the good Paildramon. This is the best Paildramon. Partition, everyone knows what that does. And then suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer. Then if DNA Digivolving, none of their Digimon can unsuspend. So this is really, really important into the current meta. Against like Mirage, of course, you prevent them from OTKing you. Against Fenry, they can't OTK you as well because they can't unsuspend, right? And then against Gallant, they can't if let's say they they were already swinging it out. They can't unsuspend, and they can't OTK you that way, right? Because Gallant X says to unsuspend if you didn't delete anything. Essentially, Paildramon is a great lockdown install tool for the deck. And of course, Partition is broken. Not much to say about that. Partition is so cracked in this deck. And I want to show you guys a little combo later, but that's for later. And then we have 3 of the Paildramon, the old starter Paildramon. When DNA Digivolving, return a bottom deck 60k or less, and then when attacking, unsuspend this Digimon. So basically the same thing. You're swinging, unsuspending, adding the aggression. I was thinking about having the level 5 where it's like if you block or delete something in battle, it trashes security. But I just wanted the added aggression of the Paildramon. Being able to get 2 checks is actually very important to have enough steam for the deck. Now for the level 6s, this is for level 5s. We have 3 of the main boss monsters. That's going to be Magnamon X. Everyone knows this guy. Block Armor Purge if X antibody or an armor form is in this Digimon Digivolution cards till the end of opponent's turn. This Digimon gets plus 3k, isn't affected by your opponent's effect, then unsuspend. So you still get the unsuspend effect even if you don't have Armor Purge, or even if you don't have an armor. But if you do have an armor, you get the protection. So you need to have the armor for protection. And that's why we're running 6 armors. And then, of course, you get to activate when Digivolving whenever a security is removed. Magna will never be bad. This card's always going to be great, especially against into the meta. Again, like I was saying, purple hybrid, you can always block the first hit, and then they go for another chip, and then it unsuspends, and you can essentially save yourself 2 security. So really slows down purple hybrid by a very, very large margin. Against Take, you become immune to Digimon effects. So you can always block that last hit if you need to, and always threaten Paladin mode, right? Which is a huge counter into Fenry. Not much more to say about Magna. I was dabbling around running 2 Magna and running other level 6s, but I quickly realized, I was like, wait, Magna is actually the best level 6 in this deck for several reasons. But the next level 6, which is the second best level 6 in my opinion, Dinomon. Now, Dinomon, I have a lot to say about this card. Security attack +1 and Fortitude. On play, you may suspend 1 Digimon, then delete 1 of your opponent's suspended Digimon with the lowest DP. Opponent's turn, while this Digimon is suspended, all of your opponent's Digimon can only attack suspended Digimon. So this is kind of like Magnamon in the sense that it's like it really deters those rush decks, right? So really cracked is that it has a security attack +1 and Fortitude. So Fortitude is basically, if it has a source, which it always will, if it has a source, you get, and it dies, you get to play it back, and then play it back for completely free, and then you get the on-play effect. So you get to delete a Digimon with lowest DP, suspend and delete a Digimon. And then opponent's turn. The opponent's turn effect, again, deters all those rush decks, like Purple Hybrid, like Red Hybrid, whatever else, you name it. Even against Imperial, this is crazy because let's say Paildramon suspends you, they have to run into this. They have no choice. Against Take, Dinomon's really good because as soon as they pop your Dinomon with their DNA Digivolution -16k, you just play it back again. You play it back again, suspend their Take, and then you delete their Take, or delete a lower level if they have one. And then on top of that, you know what's the most disgusting thing is Paildramon. Oh my god, when you swing, unsuspend, swing, 2 checks, and then you go into Dinomon. Oh my god, this deck is so broken, right? Because you have Paildramon with Partition, and then Fortitude, Dinomon with Fortitude. So it's literally, you answer this stack, you get 3 bodies. Recursion, it's insanity. So like, because let's say they use an option card to kill it, right? Because they have to. Literally, Dynamon comes back as a Fortitude, and then Paildramon, you get the partition, so you bring out your 2 level 4s and just go into another Paildramon. It's insanity, absolute insanity. So 3 bodies for dying. Like what? The Dynamon also, again, like I said, against purple hybrid, it's very, very important to have Dynamon and your Magnamon both. That's why I have Dynamon at 2, because they have to swing into this, right? But the problem is, if you have one tamer, if you have one tamer on board, which more than likely you will have one tamer on board, let's say like a Davis Ken, right? Then they can mill up to 6 cards total. So their Velgar is going to hit 13k, which Dynamon is 13k. And this is why I said that this Demi Vmon is non-negotiable in this meta, because Demi V works on everything, right? So while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gets plus 1000. Guess what? Dynamon has two colors. So that works out. I guess the way around it would be like they would have to target Dynamon, right? Well, no, that wouldn't even make... Yeah, I guess they would have to change Dynamon's color. So I guess that's the best way I could think of to work around it. But even then, you still have like the defense of like Fortitude and the redirect. So it's really, really crazy in that aspect. So 2 Dynamon. And then for our last level 6, we have 1 Medieval Gallant. So Medieval Gallant, I mean, everyone knows this card. When it would be played, suspend 2 Digimon, reduce play cost by 4, so you can play for 7. Then when Digimon are played, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving, which is suspended Digimon, deleted Digimon 8k, and then add 3000 for every suspended. So someone's going wide. If they have 2 Digimon on board, you can pop one and then swing over it with Vortex. That's the combo there. Run it as a 1-of, because sometimes it's really nice to just be able to Digivolve onto like your level 5 for 3, because the other 2 Digimon are really hefty Digivolve costs. 4 and it's a 4 to Digivolve, 5 to Digivolve. Sometimes, you know, I want to go into the Medieval Gallant for 3. And just use the effect that way. That's it for the level 6s. Now for the level 7s, we have widespread here. So first one, Blitz Omni. Not much to say about that. You get your extra last cheeky check. Really, really good. Next up, we have Paildramon Paladin Ace. Really good against Demon Lords, really good against Take, really good against Purple Hybrid. Resets the whole deck. And then if you have something like Omni in trash as well, you get to gain 3 memory and potentially steal turn. So that's always really good. And then the main card that level 7 I want to talk about is actually Quartzmon. Quartzmon is so cracked. Oh my gosh, Quartzmon is so cracked, especially against Purple Hybrid, because it's a complete shutdown, right? So essentially the idea is you'll have a Magna out. You swing into into the enemy security. Let's say it lives on suspends. You swing again, and then let's say they have like you hit a bunch of Tamers or whatever, right? And then you just finish the turn with Quartzmon, and they can't do anything about it. You suspend all of their Tamers. They'll have, let's say, like a Rookie and Raising, and that's it. That's literally all they can do, because the Tamers are going to be suspended. And the best part about it is that Quartzmon will be unaffected, right? Because of Magnamon. So you have an unaffected Quartzmon, so they can't even out it if they wanted to. They would have to. I don't even know. There's no way there would be no way for them to out it, because it's completely immune, and it would be a 21k Quartzmon, because you or at least bare minimum 18k Quartzmon. So good luck swinging over that. And yeah, so Quartzmon is absolutely so nasty. I was actually thinking about, after this, maybe bumping up to 2 Quartzmon, maybe take out like Blitz Omni, or take out Paladin Ace. I don't know. I liked having this 3 spread because I actually used all of them equal amounts. I think the one that I use least amount is Paladin Ace, but it's always nice to have that just in case for those deck out games where they go really long. definitely use Quartz and Blitz Omni more, so maybe this Paladin Ace can change into something maybe like a Gabu Bond or another Quartzmon. But Quartzmon, I was so impressed with him today and in the deck in general, because having an immune Quartzmon is so cracked. And then next up for our Tamers, we have 2 of the Davis, Memory Setter, search top 3, add a green and blue. Not much to say about that. Davis is really good. And then we have 4 of the Davis Ken. Davis Ken, this is the backbone of the deck. Being able to play your rookies for free is really good. Being able to strip Digimon and gain a memory when you Digivolve, really good. Not saying much more about that. For our consistency options, we have 2 of the Jade Memory Boost. Reveal top 3, add a green or blue. So this is nice because you can pick up your top end, you can pick up your Dinos and your Gallants, Medieval Gallants, and your Quartzmon. So it's not restricted anymore to just blue, and that's nice. Last option we have is HPD. Oh my gosh, if you can run HPD, you should. I didn't run this originally, but HPD is so insane because, like, let's say you had let's say you have a Gallant that's like unprotected, right? And then, or protected, and then you have, let's say you played a body out with Davis Ken. You can use HPD to suspend that body to Digivolve into like Quartzmon or Quartzmon or Paladin for 1, which is insane, right? And then you would essentially gain back memory if you had if you did Quartzmon or Paladin, or if there was a level 6 in Trash. So being able to go into your level 7s for 1 is really, really cracked. And then what's even more unfair about that is that you don't care if your bodies are suspended from HPD, because you're probably just going to, let's say you had like a Wormmon, you suspend it to go into like Quartzmon for 1, you gain memory, suspend everything, you can literally just Jogris, right? You can just Jogris, and it won't matter if your body's suspended by HPD. So anyways, that was my deck. I really loved the way it ran. So much fun. Great opponents all around. Let's talk about my matchup. So in terms of my matchup spread today, it was actually quite wide. I only played against Purple Hybrid twice, and that was the only repeat. So round 1, 2-0, 7 Demon Lords. Round 2 against Moonrose, he was the homie. 2-0 Purple Hybrid. Round 3, 1-2 Purple Hybrid, I lost. And then that one I made a big mistake. I either could have Digivolved into Raising or play a Vmon and then bounce his Uko with my Magna. I opted to play the Vmon and then go into Magna to bounce his Uko because I wanted to like save my life. You know what I mean? But I was thinking about not doing that because then I could have more setup if I didn't do that. But the problem was, like I said, I wanted to stop his aggression, and he ended up just doing Medieval Gallant. He suspended his own Digimon. Deleted my Magna. It was suspended, so then it became the Vmon, right? It was suspended, and then he just vortexed over it, and now he had a Medieval Gallant that he played for 7, and I was stuck because I had like Davis and Ken, but as soon as I play a Digimon out with Davis and Ken, he can use the effect to suspend and delete my Digimon. So from there, he just steamrolled with his Medieval Gallant, continuously swinging like 2 checks, and I was just cooked from there. So that was my biggest mistake. I should not have done that, but now I know. Now I learned to not leave bodies up for Medieval Gallant plays, because it really doesn't matter if Medieval Gallant is on board as long as you manage to get all the way up to your Magna. If you can get up to your Magna, it doesn't matter if Gallant's on board, right? Because especially, or even if you can just like get to your Paildramon and have a follow-up Paildramon, that's the other condition. So like if you like have, let's say, a level 4 in Raising, bring it out, and then you end of turn DNA by dropping a 4 and then go into Paildra, it doesn't really matter because you can just go into another one, right? But yeah, if Medieval Gallant goes out early against you, it's really tough. So I learned that the hard way. Um, let's see. So yeah, lost against him 1-2. Lost against Take round 4. That was also 1-2. I don't know what to say about that one. He just high rolled the crap out of me. He turned 2, killed me. Both games I lost. And one of them it was he just scrambled out and saw the absolute nuts. He scrambled out and went into Take from a scramble. So I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Round 5, I lost 0-2 to Luce. Now that matchup is really hard because he's always deleting my Tamers, and he was setting up Biting Crushes. He had a bunch of security options, which you'd think is not that big of a deal, but if you don't have this Paildramon, it's really rough. That set, I also never had armors underneath, so my Magna was always vulnerable. And he just kept recovering. He kept healing. His security was nuts. It was too much for me to handle. I lost that one 0-2. Around 6, I went against Angry Birds. That was the one with like so you're playing birds with the promo Aguni and Ancient Gray. That was really scary. He pretty much just steamrolled me one of the games, and then the other two I was able to actually stall out because Magna is really, really good, and then the other really strong card is the other really strong card is Dino, because he would have to swing, and then it would have to go into my Dino, and he would essentially delete my Dino, and it would Fortitude and Partition. Played all out, and then I would have 3 bodies from there. So, ooh. So yeah, also Corsoman comes in really clutch in that matchup too, suspending all the Tamers, so that way he can only swing from his stack. Round 7 was Omni 2-0. That was a little bit of a slower game, but because I have to play around his Omni and his option, so I pretty much just had to keep seeing the Paildramon, and that way I could keep partitioning and it wouldn't matter. Round 8 was against Red Hybrid. That was 2-1. Pretty much same thing as Angry Birds. I mean, if he sees the nuts, he sees the nuts, but otherwise I was able to really deter him with Dinomon and Magdamon. I think I did just swing, and then Blitz Omni for game. So that was that. And then round 9, which was my last round, that was against Gallant. I won against that one 2-0. Really, that matchup can go either way. That was my first time ever playing against Gallant with this deck. But again, with theory crafting that I was thinking about, Paildramon is really good because they can't unsuspend with their stacks, right? So they essentially go out like full aggression, right? And then once they do that, you bring out your stack. They would have to they have to play smart, so they essentially need to not swing or leave their guy unsuspended. Because then I won't be able to affect them on my turn. But if they're swinging like crazy, then you can lock them down with Paildramon. And then even then, like I said, if they do swing, they won't be able to unsuspend because Paildramon's effect will still be active. So they can't like do a heavy OTK. So that's really nice. Again, Partition comes up crazy. Again, Dinomon goes crazy because Gallant just kills Dinomon. Dinomon plays out Partition, same deal. I really love that interaction so much. Dinomon on top of Paildramon, so good. But yeah, because that actually came up a lot against Imperial, or Gallant. But yeah, and then another thing to note was was Magnamon. So Magnamon, and then I had Paildramon. This happened once where they swing and then they delete my Magna, say it doesn't have protection, and then you can actually activate Paildramon's effect because it's the same trigger. So Paildramon, you can actually partition and then armor purge. So you can essentially cheat out an extra Paildramon if you have it in hand and want to push that way. So that's really good. But yeah, anyways, this was a really fun deck. I absolutely have faith in this deck in this meta. I think it's really good. Has a lot of great answers. The only issue I see with it is that it is of course piece reliant. Being able to being dependent on your level 4s and seeing the pieces you need. It can be rough sometimes when you don't have the proper searching. And then also you need armor form for Magna. So most of the time you'll have it because, like I said, I have six armors here. Again, you can probably go here, but otherwise, I think it came up. It came up maybe like one time where I was like, dang, I don't have armors. So instead of that, I just go into Dynamon at that point, you know, because Dynamon is just as defensive as Magna. So yeah, I don't know. Hope you guys like this deck profile. Like I said, I was kind of like testing out different things. I was testing out Gallant X with like X antibodies, and I realized that wasn't that great because it didn't have the defense that I needed. So so that's why I went back to these two. This is like the perfect amount of defense and offense in my opinion. So Gallant X was cute, and being able to get Gallant X was nice, but you need to be able to have a good balance between defense and offense, and Gallant wasn't really providing that for me. So really like this spread. Let me know what you guys think of this video and this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you guys try it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before I let you guys go, I did want to actually show an interesting version of the deck. So like I said before, I was actually trying out Gallantmon X Antibody as the main boss monster. In this variation, we have Gallantmon X Antibody at 3 and then Magnamon X at 2. Now, in order to kind of help with the Gallantmon X effects, you do run the X Antibody, the old BT9 X Antibody. So essentially the idea is that you're swinging 2 checks, and on the second check of Paildramon, you're going to swing and Digivolve into Gallantmon X. You're going to get all of the 1 Digivolving effects, potentially unsuspend again, potentially delete a Digimon, potentially trash security. And of course you have all that immune stuff going on. But of course you have the protection of, well, not protection, but added effect of partition. So this was kind of the original version that I was playing. So if you want a kind of more aggro heavy deck, this would probably be the one for you. I liked the more defensive base with Magnamon X and Dynamon, but this one was always fun to play. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.